This is the Jerry Hicks Show, your home for common sense content 5 nights a week, right here on the Censored Freedom Network. Now here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight on the Jerry Hicks Show. It is Monday, February the 24th, 2025, and we have a ton of news to get into, as always, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do make sure, if you are listening over on BitChute or Rumble, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're over on X, make sure you follow us, as well as YouTube also. We do have a channel also over on TikTok where we share a little fun stuff if you want to join us over there, also at the Jerry Hicks Show. So definitely make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you're following us at all these locations, or at least the one you like the best. And as you guys know, we are part of the Censored Freedom Network. That's that little gold logo down there in the bottom corner. We did the Censored Freedom Show last night over on X, myself and CD Spivey. Make sure you go check that out. That's once a week, every week. And then, of course, we do these shows 5 nights a week. So if you aren't, ladies and gentlemen, you are missing out. Make sure you're subscribed or following us on whichever platform you may be on. With that said, let's hop over to the news rack. What do you say? Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bongino. I posted early this morning over on the TikTok platform. Dan Bongino opens his podcast with emotional message following the appointment as Deputy Director of the FBI. Folks, I can't be more excited about this. We've got Kash Patel running the FBI, who has been part of discovering what's been going on and bringing down the deep state. Then you got Dan Bongino, who has been pissed off for a long time at the deep state. This is going to be awesome. I am super, super excited. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear what Dan Bongino had to say.
You see? And kind of broke down a bit because it was, this is now real. So, the President, Attorney General Bondi.
She's so hot.
And now Director, gosh, that sounds good to say, FBI Director Kash Patel offered this role, a role I expressed an interest in. And ladies and gentlemen, I told you, you see, it's hard for me. I'm going to accept the role proudly.
I'm so excited about that.
As the Deputy Director, the number 2 spot at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Folks, it's a lot to walk away from. I will tell you everything what happened within reason, and then I got a show to do, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with the show. So it's going to be a pretty wild ride today.
If you guys aren't listening to the Dan Bongino show, you are missing out, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, we've got a couple articles coming up that came straight from the Bongino Report, BonginoReport.com, folks. There's that webpage, BonginoReport.com. Always great, up-to-date news. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. Let's hop back up here. But, folks, great news as Dan Bongino is taking over as Deputy Director of the FBI. Our next couple stories, ladies and gentlemen, are going to show how fake the mocking stream media really is, and that was not supposed to close. Why is this machine running so slow? I just rebooted it. We'll get to this story here in a second, but like I said, these next couple stories, and I apologize for the slow loading, the machine's acting kind of goofy today. The news rack's a little broken. I'm going to have to get that fixed. But anyways, folks, speaking of news, the mocking stream media, hashtag mocking stream media, does not have to tell you the truth. And they try to hide stories as often as they possibly can. Leaked text messages from Fox 11 Los Angeles reveal reporters have been instructed to not cover the secret recording of the Karen Bass phone call. Do we have that phone call down here? We do not have that phone call available, unfortunately. But she speaks right before she goes on a trip during the wildfires. about something that's coming, and you'll see. Did she know, ladies and gentlemen? Or the better question is, what did she know and when did she know it? Right? LA Democrat Mayor Karen Bass, where is what she said exactly? I'm trying to find her exact words, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, the media was told not to report on this story.
Breaking news, text messages from within Fox 11 News in Los Angeles reveal that reporters are being told not to cover the secret recording of the Mayor Bass phone call released on Friday. In the phone call from January 4th, just 3 days before the fires, Mayor Bass preemptively defends her Ghana trip.
And just in terms of my trip, just so you know, I'm missing 2 work days. That's it.
She also sends a very cryptic message to read between the lines, whatever that means.
And hopefully you can read in between the lines. But I would just appreciate and it's hard for me to tell you this, but hold tight. You will understand soon.
Hold tight, you will understand soon. That sounds kind of cryptic to me.
Now, in these text messages provided to Citizen Journalism Foundation within Fox 11, they read, quote, "I know the company's Fox's lawyers have had some concerns about this one and have asked us to pause. I wish it was up to me. It's an interesting tape, and I'd like to know what she's referring to." We also asked if Fox 11 can at least cover this on social media. They were informed they were barred from posting the story on social media as well. Yeah, it's both for now. We'll work to get clearance.
See, this is garbage. This is absolute garbage right here. How many times have I told you guys the news is not here to tell you the truth or give you the news? Everything you hear from the mocking stream media is controlled. Period. Full stop. If you hear a story, it's because they want you to hear that story. They have some emotional investment that they want you to give to that story. They're not here to read it straight or just tell you. Even if they had said, here's what was found, here's what's going on, and just play the tape, because that's public knowledge, right? But they won't even do that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know that Joy Reid got sacked over at MSDNC, or BSNBC, whichever you prefer. BSDNC, that garbage network that's always race baiting and trying to get anti-Trump as much as they can, right? So Rachel Madcow goes on an unhinged rant against her own network because Joy Reid got fired. Check this out. I know I don't normally give time to leftists and racists and people that don't have half a brain cell, but I thought this was interesting. You guys might too.
PM hour all the other nights except for Mondays. So that's a big change. And even bigger.
She looks so manly.
Programming change is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Read
She doesn't sound very feminine either.
Out ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very
good riddance to her.
Very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds.
Damn, she almost sounded like a Republican there for a second.
The jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid.
Are you trying to say she was your lover? Is that the problem, Rachel?
Love everything about her.
Gotcha.
I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think
basically she goes on a whole rant about how MSNBC fired the two people that were of a different skin color than her and how that's bad on the network and she despises it. And yeah, the network she works for. I don't know if she's trying to lose her job or what the deal is. But, ladies and gentlemen, I would be ecstatic if Mad Cow was off the air, just like Race Bader Reed. ABC, CBS, NBC spend less than 2 minutes on Doge taxpayer savings. The biggest story in the history of this country. In 16 days coverage, February 8th to 24th, ABC, CBS, NBC on their evening and morning shows spent a total of 1 minute and 53 seconds citing specific dollar amounts that Doge or Trump claimed to have saved the taxpayers. Ladies and gentlemen, I spend longer than that trying to look it up. I spend longer than that trying to make a video about it for TikTok. There's more than that right here. Swear to God it is. But instead of covering this story like they should, and the big scandal that it is, these controlled media sources, this is how you know it's a controlled media source, folks, because they don't want you to be happy about this. Their funding's getting cut off. You're not supposed to be happy about them finding the fraud and the waste and abuse and exposing everything. That's what the mocking stream media wants you to believe. They want you to be focused on anything else but that. Folks, anybody who says, I watch CNN, ABC, NBC, you can already count them out as far as knowing what's going on. They have nothing but propaganda and brainwashing is all they're actually watching. Yeah, I said it. Now stand by it. Folks, what I really find funny is the ones that say, well, I watch Fox. And Fox is just as controlled, ladies and gentlemen. They're part of the mocking stream media. You're not going to get truth out of any of these channels. You're going to get a different flavor of propaganda. That's it. Look up the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. As a matter of fact, let's do it together right now. As you can tell, this wasn't even part of the show. Okay, nothing typed in. Well, that's good. Let's do it together right now. Smith. Oh, you're going to be hard as heck, huh? Okay, Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. And let's just see what this says. See if we can look it up live right here on the air. To amend the United States Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948 to authorize the domestic dissemination of information and material about United States intended primarily for foreign audiences and for other purposes. Folks, do you know what we supply to foreign audiences? We supply propaganda. Yeah. And now the CIA has full authority to do that on American soil to American citizens. To disseminate information and material about the United States intended primarily for foreign audiences and other purposes. This is the Modernization Act. This is what was put into law, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the news don't have to tell you the truth. You always hear me talk about this, and I guess some people think I'm making it up or I'm just speaking hyperbolically. I'm not. It's the straight up, honest to God truth. The news doesn't have to tell you the truth. That's how they've been able to become activist organizations over the last however many years. And if you're just listening to this instead of being able to see it, look it up yourself. MSNBC promotes Jen Psaki. She's circling back around to a new show. I had to throw it in there somewhere. I couldn't make it work. I'm sorry. MSNBC promotes Jen Psaki and Shake Up, Access shows hosted by 3 other leftist anchors, including The Joy Reid Show. They've also got rid of shows by Ayman whatever, Jonathan Capehart, Katie Fang, and Jose Diaz-Balart. I wonder if he's... Never mind. That stupid joke. But folks, they are revamping MSDNC. Do I think this is going to change anything? Hell no. Absolutely not. Just because they put new faces in to tell you the same propagandic lies doesn't change anything. Unless they start reporting the real truth, they're just as bad as any other show on TV. It's all about ratings, folks. The news is about ratings anymore. It's not about the truth. It's not about informing you. They do a disservice to the public with every show they do on every mainstream media network. Period. I don't care. We covered the Karen Bass messages. Americans give Trump a big thumbs up and deliver crushing news to Democrats in new poll. Democrats have nothing. They have no capable leaders, no immediate electoral prospects, and no issues on which to appeal to voters. Moreover, if their immediate strategy involves hoping that Trump fails, they're going to be waiting a long time. And if they're trying to spin a narrative suggesting Americans disapprove of the president, they really have nothing. A recent Harris poll released Monday found that Trump maintains a 52% approval rating after his first month in office, including high marks for nearly all of his policies, while Democrats have plummeted to an all-time low rating of 36%. A total of 2,443 registered voters completed the survey online Wednesday and Thursday. The poll produced positive news all around for the president. For instance, respondents identified deportation of illegal immigrants who have committed crimes, 81%, eliminating fraud and waste in government expenditure, 76%, and closing the border as the three Trump policies of which they most approved. Meanwhile, Democrats have spent 3 weeks demonizing Elon Musk, head of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency. By the way, they want to create another department. I can't remember. Federal Oversight of Funding Agency. FOFA. Or FAFO. Federal Agency for Funding Oversight. That's what it is. Federal Agency of Funding Oversight. FAFO. That's a true story. That's a 100% true story. Democrats, however, earned their worst approval rating since March 2018, thanks to low marks from 86% of Republicans, a whopping 70% of independents. Well, I mean, it's no surprise Republicans don't agree with Democrats, right? But 70% of independents and a hilarious 33% of their fellow Democrats have said they've completely went off the rails, ladies and gentlemen. You know what they call this? You know what I call this? Hashtag winning MAGA style. That's what I call this. So here's a story for you. Dan Crenshaw, the wannabe Republican. This guy is a rhino if ever he has been a rhino. You guys might know him as Eye Patch. Yeah. He had some very nasty things to say about Tucker.
$100 billion to Ukraine. I know that people like Tucker Carlson will make the argument that there's a real opportunity cost there. You know, we could have spent that money on the border or fixing, issues in America. Yeah. What do you make of that argument that all this money could have been spent to help Americans and not Ukrainians?
Now, think about the question he's being asked, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about the fact that all this money is being spent to help Americans and not Ukrainians? That's the question.
You can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. We spend 75-80% of our budget on a welfare state in America, on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
I mean, he's not wrong about that.
I would love to ask Tucker.
I don't think it's that high, though.
But he thinks that $100 billion should be spent on it if he would vote for it as a conservative. Tucker doesn't know what he's talking about. Tucker likes to visit Moscow and talk about how great the grocery stores are. So I don't really take his...
I'm sorry, Tucker likes to report the truth to us.
His advice very seriously.
He went on to say how he would literally KILL Tucker if he had the chance. Swear to God. I don't have that audio bite here, it looks like. After the interview concluded, the host asked Crenshaw if he has ever met Carlson. He said, "Have you ever met Tucker Carlson?" To which Crenshaw replied, "If I ever meet Tucker Carlson, I'll effing kill him. I'm not joking." Well, Tucker caught wind of all of this going on, ladies and gentlemen, and had a thing or two to say about it himself. And I thought it was in this story. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. He replied on a tweet. I'm sorry. He said, "Why don't you come sit for an interview and we'll see how you do. I'll send you my address," at Dan Crenshaw, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Crenshaw is a Democrat in Republican clothing with an eye patch. He's a pirate publican. This guy has been nothing but a rhino. Guys, in Texas, you guys have got to get rid of this dude. Primary him out. He's got to go. He is not helping the American First agenda. His question, do you feel the money should be basically spent on Americans and not Ukrainians? He laughed at and scoffed. In other words, he thinks we should be sending our money overseas, ladies and gentlemen. This guy needs to go. Speaking of needs to go, Obama judge who blocked Trump's ICE raids? Yeah, she's married to a far-left open borders activist that's funded by George Soros. Can we say conflict of interest, ladies and gentlemen? U.S. District Judge Theodore Chuang ruled in favor of a lawsuit filed by left-wing activists seeking to prohibit ICE from conducting raids in churches where many illegal aliens hide from authorities. So I don't know how I feel about this one, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. Because churches are sanctuaries, and it's always been held that that's the one place the police cannot arrest you. Now, when you come out, it's fair game. But should that be upheld even with ICE, with people that are in this country illegally? Should they be given sanctuary as long as they're within the bounds of a church? I don't know, folks, because they're not supposed to be here to begin with. So, I mean, that's a good question in and of itself. But according to the judge that blocked the ICE raids in churches, it can't be. And this woman is married to a far-left open borders activist. So I don't know how well this is going to stick. Here's another judge I think needs to be, impeached from the bench. Emboldened by Supreme Court's refusal to act, fired Biden holdover reinstated by Obama judge rules that some of Trump's firings of probationary employees are illegal. So you've got other judges covering for these guys, putting in their own kind. Obama judges keeping each other in office to basically buck any and everything Trump's trying to do, to buck the American people. Remember, Trump's doing what the American people asked him to do. These courts are showing themselves to be completely against the Constitution and against what the American people are asking for. If this is what the American people want, stay the fuck out of the way and let us do what we've got to do. Yeah, I said it. Trump judge, now here we go. Here's a judge that actually knows what he's doing. Denies the Associated Press emergency motion to restore access to the White House press pool. No, the AP refused to follow the rules. They refused to acknowledge President Trump's mandates, and now they're crying because they aren't going to get their way. Well, they're journalists. They should have access to it. They've had access this whole time, ladies and gentlemen. They're not journalists. They're propagandists. We just went over this, didn't we? Anyone in the mocking stream media is a propagandist. Period. Full stop. You should get your news from alternative stream media. Whether it's this show, whether it's something like Dan Bongino or Tim Pool or Benny Johnson, any of these guys, right? This is where you're going to find the truth. This is where you're going to find conservative media. Because I don't care what channel you turn on the TV. I don't even own a TV. You're going to find garbage. They're not here to tell you the truth. They're here for ratings. That's it. And the more lies and the more controversy they can stir up, the better the ratings. Why do you think they went buck on CVID? Why do you think they went buck on impeachments? Why do you think they did everything they could to stir the pot? Because they don't have to tell you the news. They are activist organizations, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not least, a great, great story. We may end just a couple minutes early tonight. We'll see how that goes. President Trump gives a tremendous thank you to election integrity hero Mike Lindell at CFAC. He stood strong. Nothing was going to faze him. I want to thank him on behalf of everybody, says President Trump of Mike Lindell. And let me tell you, folks, this man right here put it all on the line. Every penny he had, every penny he made from the MyPillow, everything he could do to help patriots, he put it all on the line because he believed in something and stood for what he believed in. I cannot be more proud of patriots like Mike Lindell, or any of you across this country who have done the very same thing, who have stood up and said, no, I will no longer put up with this. I stand for what I stand for, no matter what. I've been in that position. I've had to do it, folks. It's not an easy thing to do. And I know a lot of people listening to this show also were in that position in 2020 and 2021. And a lot of us stood for what we believed in the light or in the face of all negative. We were being told we would be cut from society, and yet we remained. We did not give in. Just like this man here, Mike Lindell, ladies and gentlemen, a absolute hero. He deserves his own statue, and I have a feeling he will have his own statue in the Garden of Heroes. Like I said, it looks like we're going to end just a couple minutes early tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We don't do that very often, so we definitely will tonight. My name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. This is the Dark Wolf's the Jerry Hicks Show. I still haven't got over the Dark Wolf's Den Show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jerry Hicks. This is the Jerry Hicks Show. And remember, until tomorrow, next we meet, stay awake, but dare to dream. Stand strong, Patriots. Good night, everybody. Thank you.